In a distant forest lived a little raccoon named Ahwan. His fur was as soft as clouds, his eyes sparkled like starlight, and his tail, adorned with black and white rings, swayed gently with his mood. The forest was his home, filled with towering oak trees, clear streams, and countless hidden secrets waiting to be explored. Every night, when the moon climbed the treetops and cast its silvery glow, Ahwan embarked on his adventures. Unlike other animals who feared the dark, for him, nighttime was a magical realm. His home was a hollow in an ancient tree, lined with soft moss and dried leaves, decorated with treasures he'd collected, a shiny stone, a feather, and a few dried but fragrant flower petals. Each trinket was a memento of his adventures, carrying its own story. Tonight, the moon was exceptionally bright, as if lighting a lantern just for Ahwan. He poked his head out of the hollow, sniffed the air, and caught a sweet, fruity scent from deep within the forest, wild berries. His stomach growled, and he decided his mission tonight was to find the legendary berry grove, said to be hidden at the end of Mist Vale, a place only the bravest could reach due to its perilous path. Undaunted, Ahwan shook his tail, leapt from the tree, and began his journey. The forest night was never silent. The chirping of insects, rustling leaves, and distant owl hoots wove a natural symphony. Ahwan's small paws moved soundlessly on the soft earth, weaving through bushes and around fallen logs. His first challenge soon appeared. A wide stream blocked his path, its rapids rushing fiercely, the moonlight dancing on the water as if taunting his courage. Ahwan crouched by the bank, tilting his head in thought. He couldn't swim, but his cleverness always found a way. Nearby, a long branch spanned the stream, rickety but a perfect bridge for him. He climbed onto it cautiously, each step light as a feather, his tail swaying for balance. When he reached the other side, he glanced back at the stream, flicked his tail smugly, as if to say, "That's nothing." Continuing deeper, the forest grew denser, tree shadows intertwining, moonlight barely piercing through. Ahwan's ears perked, catching every sound. Suddenly, a low grumble came from a nearby bush. His heart raced, but curiosity trumped fear. He crept closer, parted the branches, and found an old hedgehog entangled in vines, unable to move. The hedgehog, Herbert, one of the forest's elders, had spines that glimmered faintly in the moonlight, but he looked tired and helpless. Without hesitation, Ahwan used his small paws to untangle the vines, wincing when a few spines pricked him but persisting. Finally, Herbert was free. He took a deep breath and said in a raspy voice, "Thank you, little raccoon. Your heart is as nimble as your paws." Ahwan smiled and asked why Herbert was in such a dangerous place alone. Herbert explained he'd heard the berry grove in Mist Vale held magical fruit that could grant beautiful dreams, and he wanted to gather some for the forest's sleepless elders. Ahwan's eyes lit up. "I'll go with you. We'll find the berry grove together." Though old, Herbert's spirit was strong. He nodded, and the two set off. As they ventured deeper, the air grew cool and damp, mist swirling at their feet. This was the entrance to Mist Vale. Legend said a mysterious guardian lived here, and only with its permission could animals enter the grove. Ahwan and Herbert tread carefully, the fog thickening until they could barely see each other. Then, a deep, gentle voice echoed from the mist, "Who enters my valley?" A chill ran through Ahwan, but he mustered his courage and replied, "I'm Ahwan, and this is Herbert. We seek the berry grove to bring back its magical fruit." The mist parted, revealing a massive owl. Her feathers shimmered like stardust, her eyes deep as the night sky. She was Celine, Mist Vale's guardian. Celine gazed at them, as if seeing into their souls, and asked, "Why do you need these fruits? Their power is not for everyone." Herbert shared his wish to help his friends, while Ahwan said he wanted to fill the forest's nights with beautiful dreams. Celine paused, then nodded. "Your hearts are pure. Follow me to the berry grove." Guided by Celine, they passed through the fog to a hidden glade. The berry bushes glowed softly under the moonlight, each fruit plump and fragrant. Ahwan and Herbert carefully picked some, tucking them into Ahwan's small sack. Celine warned, "These fruits hold the forest's magic. Share them, never hoard them." They promised solemnly and thanked her. On the way back, the mist cleared, and moonlight lit their path. Ahwan and Herbert chatted, sharing stories. Herbert recalled his own curious youth, full of adventures like Ahwan's. Ahwan dreamed of exploring beyond the forest, to see distant mountains and seas. By the time they reached the forest's heart, dawn's first light touched the sky. Herbert shared the berries with those in need, and Ahwan kept one for himself. Back in his hollow, he lay on the moss, bit into the berry, and its sweet, warm juice relaxed him instantly. His eyelids grew heavy, and dreams flooded in. He soared over the forest, saw boundless oceans and golden peaks, and countless twinkling stars. He became a breeze, drifting freely between earth and sky, carrying the forest's scent to far-off lands. When Ahwan awoke, night had fallen again. He stretched, feeling lighter than ever. The berry's magic hadn't just brought dreams, it showed him that true adventure lay in sharing and cherishing every moment. So, he leapt from his hollow, ready for a new night. His tail swayed, moonlight paving a silver path, and the forest, his eternal home, brimmed with stories and magic. The moonlight bathed his fur, making him look cloaked in silver. The berry's dreams lingered, ocean waves and mountain silhouettes still vivid, but tonight's adventure wouldn't end in dreams. The forest always held new secrets. A faint rustle came from outside, like someone tapping the tree. Ahwan opened his eyes, ears twitching, and crept to the hollow's edge. A tiny firefly hovered in the air, glowing soft green. This was Ember, the forest's messenger, carrying news with her light. She buzzed closer, her voice small but clear. "Ahwan, the heart of the forest is in trouble. The old tree ant needs you." Ahwan's heart raced. The heart of the forest was the lifeblood of the woods, a colossal tree whose roots linked every tree, stream, and creature's soul. The old tree ant, its guardian, rarely called for outsiders unless disaster loomed. Without hesitation, Ahwan shook his tail and said, "Take me there." Ember's light flickered as she darted into the forest's depths, Ahwan close behind. His paws moved swiftly, moonlight guiding him, embers glow a tiny lantern. They passed the oak grove, the bush where he met Herbert, and entered an uncharted realm. Here, trees were ancient, their trunks so wide 10 raccoons couldn't encircle them, their canopies blocking all but slivers of moonlight. The air smelled of damp earth and faint decay. Ahwan felt a solemn weight, as if the land held centuries of tales. Ember led him to a giant tree, the heart of the forest. Its trunk was mountain-like, etched with gnarled patterns like ancient runes. Its crown pierced the clouds, leaves whispering in the breeze. At its base stood a weathered figure, the old tree ant, Horo, his body woven of bark and vines, eyes like amber glowing warmly. Oro's voice rumbled like the earth, "Ahwan, thank you for coming. The heart of the forest is losing its strength. A crisis looms." Ahwan tilted his head. "What crisis? Isn't the heart eternal?" Oro sighed, leaves quivering. The heart draws power from 4 elemental gems: fire, wind, water, earth, hidden in the forest's corners, balancing nature. But their light is fading. Something seeks to destroy them. If they fail, the forest will fall into eternal darkness. A chill gripped Ahuan, but he stood firm. His curiosity and courage urged him on. "Tell me what to do. I'll restore the gems." Oro nodded, a glint of approval in his eyes. "Your heart is pure and brave, Ahuan. But this task is perilous. You'll need companions. I've summoned others, they're on their way." Footsteps rustled, and Chestnut, the golden-furred squirrel, burst into view, panting. "Ahuan. Ember said there's big trouble, how could I miss this?" Next came Bluefeather, a blue-winged crow, his feathers shimmering navy, calm but sharp-witted. Last was Stone, a tiny mole, nearly blind but with unmatched sniffing and digging skills. The 4 stood before the heart, hearing Oro's mission. They must reach Flame Peak, Windhowl Cliff, Tear Lake, and Earth Mound to find the gems and rekindle them with the heart's magic. Each place held trials testing courage, wisdom, and unity. Oro drew 4 glowing leaves from the trunk, handing them over. "These leaves will guide and protect you in dire moments. Only pure hearts can reignite the gems." Ahuan took a leaf, feeling warmth pulse through its veins. He looked at Chestnut, Bluefeather, and Stone. "Together, nothing can stop us." They set off, Ember's light leading. Their first stop was Flame Peak, home to a fire salamander guarding the fire gem. The journey was rough, through thorny brambles that nearly snagged Chestnut's tail. Bluefeather scouted from above, finding safe paths, while Stone dug to clear obstacles. Ahuan watched for dangers, ensuring their safety. Their teamwork smoothed the way, though Chestnut's recklessness and Stone's stubbornness sparked quarrels, quickly dissolved by laughter. At Flame Peak, heat blasted them. The peak's rocks glowed red, steam hissing from cracks. The fire salamander appeared, scales like burning coals, tail sparking as it moved. Its raspy voice declared, "To claim the fire gem, pass my trial, cross the path of flames to prove your courage." The path was a corridor of burning stones, flames roaring on both sides, warping the air. Chestnut gulped, muttering, "This is insane." Ahuan clutched his leaf. "We'll cross together. Trust each other." Bluefeather flew above, fanning cool air with his wings. Stone dug a shallow trench to avoid the hottest ground. Ahuan and Chestnut walked side by side, urging each other on. Emerging singed but smiling, they earned the salamander's nod. The fire gem, like frozen flame, glowed warmly in their paws. Next was Windhowl Cliff, where a giant eagle guarded the wind gem. The cliff towered at the forest's edge, winds howling, clouds swirling at its peak. The eagle's trial was a test of wisdom, 3 riddles about the forest. Bluefeather solved questions on migration and winds. Stone, knowing soils, answered about plant growth. Ahuan and Chestnut cracked the final riddle on animal bonds. The eagle spread its wings, presenting the wind gem, light as a feather, radiating coolness. Tear Lake's trial was tougher. The water gem's guardian, a water otter named Teardrop, explained the gem lay in the lake's depths, but dark forces had tainted the water. Only sincere tears could purify it. Chestnut's comedic attempts at crying drew laughs. Stone shared a tale of getting lost as a young mole, his honesty bringing tears that cleared the lake. Ahuan dove in, retrieving the water gem, a blue pearl pulsing softly. The final stop, Earth Mound, housed the Earth Gem, guarded by a massive beetle, rock armor. Its trial demanded strength and unity, pushing a boulder to reveal the gem. Stone loosened the soil, Blue Feather lightened the boulder with gusts, and Ahwan and Chestnut pushed with all their might. The boulder shifted, revealing the Earth Gem, steady and warm, like the forest's heartbeat. With all 4 gems, they returned to the heart. Oro placed them in the trunk's slots, and the tree erupted in dazzling light, its roots pulsing with life. The forest's nights grew brighter, animal laughter echoing. Oro thanked them, "Your unity and courage saved the forest. You've grown through this quest." Ahwan looked at his friends, warmth filling him. They were family now. The squirrel tribe's feast drums sounded, celebrating their triumph. Ahwan returned to his hollow, heart full, knowing each night held new tales. He dreamed of standing atop the heart, moonlight crowning him, stars singing. But the story didn't end. At dawn, Ember returned with news. The starlight marsh at the forest's edge was in trouble. The fabled stardust flowers were wilting, dimming the forest's nights. Ahwan rallied Chestnut, Blue Feather, and Stone for one more quest. The marsh glowed with luminous moss, star-like flecks floating in its waters. Stardust flowers should have bloomed vibrantly, but their petals were dull. Silverstripe, an old fox, guarded the marsh and explained a dark spirit, born of the forest's past grudges, was draining the flowers' magic. Only pure hearts could banish it. They crossed the marsh, dodging treacherous bogs, Blue Feather scouting, Stone sniffing safe paths. The spirit emerged, a black mist wailing mournfully. Chestnut's humor failed to lighten the mood. Ahwan gripped his leaf, recalling their shared adventures. "Our hearts are bound, you can't defeat us." They shouted their love for the forest, the leaves blazing, dispelling the mist. The stardust flowers bloomed anew, the marsh aglow. Silverstripe gifted them a petal, saying it would enhance their dreams. Back in his hollow, Ahwan placed the petal with his treasures, lay on his moss bed, and reflected. His heart swelled with joy, knowing no challenge was too great with friends and courage. The forest was his home forever. Closing his eyes, he dreamed of soaring with his friends on starlight, the forest's magic eternal. Do you still like today's story? If you like, please remember to subscribe to this channel and click the like icon. You can receive notifications and hear the latest stories as soon as possible. Good night, my baby.